And guys, it's Kimberly back with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about not about any movies, we're not talking about we're going to be talking about the sequels better than the originals. So actually this is actually pretty hard to try and find a sequel. Like I usually you don't notice how much like the originals are better than the sequels. So I was like, oh no, I usually like the sequels better. It's actually pretty hard to find a good sequel. But yeah, so this means right here. And let's get started. So these are just kind of in chronological order. So yeah, the first movie is Child's Play 2. This movie, I just like it. Like I just felt like it wasn't, I don't know why, I just like it more. I feel like this first one is just kind of slow, and this one is just more. Plus Kyle's in it, and then we have Chucky pretending to be Tommy. So I just thought it was better than the first one. And then we have Jeepers Creepers 2. I feel like Jeepers Creepers 1 is just them kind of running away, like nothing really happens. But then in the second one, like they're actually like, the creepers actually attacking them. It's actually like, there's like more people, so there's gonna be more deaths. But I just thought that it's better. And I found Destination 2. This movie is pretty good. Personally, the third one is my favorite, but I don't know if that would count as a sequel, since it's like a sequel of the sequel. I just liked it better. I thought like the whole highway thing was like really interesting, of like how they like everyone died, and just thought like, I don't like how they kind of like bring like the whole like bringing a new life thing in. Also AJ Cook is in there, so that's pretty cool, but I just liked it more. So that's, yeah. And we have Resident Evil Apocalypse. This movie, I didn't like the first one. When I go into a movie, I don't like it to be slow. I like it just kind of like go into what's happening. So I like how like the first one, the guys like it has that like storyline and stuff actually has to happen, like for like stuff to happen, you know. So like this one, like kind of stuff is already set, so it's like, you know, plus like the in Raccoon City, and like it's about to like get bombed, so it's just pretty good. This one's a little controversial, but Saw 2 is better than Saw 1. And I think a lot of reasons that people love Saw 1 is because like the whole twist. But I feel like I watched it years later. When I finally started watching Saw, it was when Jigsaw came out. So I was expecting like traps. I knew that John Kramer was like, I knew the twist in number 1. So I was like expecting traps, and really didn't really get anything. So then Saw 2, it's like when you start getting traps, plus they're like in a house. So yeah. But the more I watch Saw 1, the more I like it. So, and then we have Joyride 2, Dead Ahead. These movies aren't the best, I'm not gonna say. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but they are pretty, like, if they made a new one, I would go to theaters and I would watch it. But I like the second one more. I love the kills. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, if a movie has kills, like better kills, then it's automatically my favorite. But it was just, I don't know. I feel like the first one wasn't really horror. It was more of like a thriller. So like this one kind of like was a horror. So I think that's why I liked it more. And we have Insidious Chapter 2. So again, I don't like when a movie is super slow, and I felt like a lot of like Insidious 1, I was just kind of like, okay, let's stop with this super slow stuff, like actually get on to something, like waiting for something to happen. But Insidious 2, like stuff did happen. Plus like a little like side story of like the bride, not the bride, I think it's the bride, the old lady, and like what she did and everything. And then watching the dad be evil was cool too. And then we have It Chapter 2. I feel like number 1 was just way too slow. I like them as grown-ups and everything. And yeah. And then we have one of my favorite movies of all time is Terrifier 2, which I love. Yeah, they had like an actual storyline with it, and the kills are way better. The movie is it's just awesome. So yeah, and then we have Missing. This is a sequel to the movie called Searching, and this was a pretty good, it was like kind of like tied, but then like when the ending happened, I was like, whoa, like I don't know, it's just kind of more of like, it is kind of sad, but it is like, it isn't really as well known as everything else, but it's about like this girl and her mom ends up going like on a trip with her boyfriend, I think to Mexico, and then her mom doesn't come back. She's kind of like a missing person, and it all takes place like on a computer, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then the last movie is kind of a new movie that I don't think is really well known, but it's called Wrath of Becky. It's a sequel to Becky, and I feel like you don't really need to watch Becky to watch Wrath of Becky. I feel like it'd be like cool things, like wow, like that's awesome. But I feel like Becky's just kind of like a straightforward plot, and you could probably get everything from the like trailer. But it is a really good movie. I've loved it. It is a little bit slower than the first one, which I did just say I hate when movies are slow. But I did just love like the added stuff they had, and it was just more of like a storyline. It wasn't just blatantly like I like when a movie has kills, but I also like when it's not just a whole bunch of random stuff. I like when it's actually a storyline. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of fast. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you have any other sequels that you think are better than the originals, let me know in the comments. And if you disagree with me, tell me why. So yeah, so I will see you guys next week.